What up, y'all? It's your guy Dawson from D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of y'all who will, you know I appreciate it. Also, make sure you go over to my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speak TV. Please subscribe over there. Now, let's get into this story. Now, I heard this story about a month ago, and I said I was going to do the story, but I was like, no, they got to really bring more information out about this story because it just didn't sit well with me that a man was on the church property and the pastor went to confront the man and the man headbutted the pastor and the pastor shot up in the air and didn't shoot the man and the man was able to get away. But now, according to news affiliates, a man has been arrested after he was accused of headbutting this pastor here, Pastor Tamarkus Cook, while trespassing on the church's property. Now, I'm going to let you all watch these news clippings and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
I personally believe that had I passed out and become unconscious, he may have killed me.
This local Coweta County pastor thankful to be alive, he says, after he was attacked and beaten, left with stitches and fractured bones to his face. Pastor Tamarkus Cook telling us this happened after he approached the man to ask why he was on the church's property. Well, now Coweta County authorities need your help finding that attacker. And as Fox 5's Carrie Charles reports, this pastor feels his attacker made a decision he might regret.
I forgave him the moment he laid hands on me.
Pastor Tamarkus Cook practices what he preaches, even when it comes to the man who left him with several stitches and fractured bones to the right side of his face. Pastor says the man towered and outweighed him.
The gentleman grabbed me by my jacket lapel and headbutted me with everything he had. I personally believe that had I passed out and become unconscious, he may have killed me.
Cook leads St. Smyrna Baptist Church in Coweta County. He tells me he spotted a truck parked in the driveway of an old house next to the church on Wednesday afternoon. The church bought the property 2 years ago.
We've had several incidents here at this property since we've acquired it. Initially, it started out with people breaking into the property, taking out whatever they could salvage.
The pastor says he pulled his gun and fired several shots into the air. The man ran to his truck and drove away.
I would honestly like for him to turn himself in. Turning himself in to face responsibility for such a cowardly act would really speak volumes of his own character. Perhaps he had a moment of misjudgment. Perhaps he was under the influence of drugs and made a decision that he himself would regret.
The pastor says the plans are to level this home and turn this entire property into a parking lot. In fact, he says those plans will be expedited as a result of this incident. In Coweta County, Carrie Charles, Fox 5 News.
For attacking a Noonan pastor has finally turned himself in. 37-year-old Levi Bayer is charged with aggravated assault. Police say that Bayer headbutted Tamarkus Cook in November, breaking bones in his face. This after the pastor approached Bayer, who was hanging out on the church's property late at night. Police say they found Bayer with help from a license tag reader.
All right, y'all, now let's go in. Now, like I said in the beginning, when I first heard this story, I did not want to do it because I feel some kind of way with people being like passive when it comes to stuff like this. And I guess because I grew up in church and a lot of people, you know, well, we got to forgive them. We got to leave it up to God and all this kind of stuff. If somebody headbutts you, do you know what it feels like? I mean, for anybody who played football or any type of contact sport or anything, you were wrestling and somebody headbutted you. That is something that like, they putting all their power in that. So when the pastor said that he was headbutted and he didn't shoot the man, he shot up in the air, it made me feel some kind of way because I'm like, the man was able to headbutt you. You had a gun and you didn't shoot him. The man was able to leave your property and drive off into the city. I just couldn't understand that because I'm like, there's no way he could have headbutted me and I had a gun and he was able to just leave the property and drive off in the city. If he would have headbutted me, he would have been shot and he would have been in heaven sweeping through the city. So I just didn't get that part. So that's why I didn't want to do this story when it first came out, because even in that interview, you can see Pastor Tamarkus Cook is so calm and so reserved and how he said, I forgave him the moment he laid hands on me. It's like, I can't believe that. I'm sorry. And I think that church culture, or just church people, especially Christians, or people, it doesn't have to even be Christians, just people who, any type of religion where you're always forgiving. It's like, is there any room for you to be human, to feel emotions, raw emotions? And it's like, I grew up in church, and I'm used to people like Tamarkus Cook. Everything, I forgive them. I forgive them. I forgive them. If I don't forgive them, God ain't gonna forgive me. No, God would have forgave you after you shot him, just like God will forgive him for headbutting you. You could have shot him. Like, seriously. And I know people like, well, Dawson, you stand on that? Yeah, I'm staying on that. Because I believe now more than ever, with a lot of people, we are being victimized by people who just want to commit random crimes. And all we can say is, oh, well, God will forgive them. Yeah, they killed my child. They shot my mama. They robbed us at the store. I don't have time for it. My thing is, y'all, fight back. God will forgive you too. Fight back. Don't become no victim. Fight back. That's what I have to say. Now, this man who headbutted the pastor, 37-year-old William Levi Bayer, he was arrested, as they said in the news report, and he is charged with aggravated battery, rightfully so. So I'm glad that he's off the streets. I'm glad that Pastor Tamarkus Cook and his family, look at his family, got a beautiful family there. I'm glad that they found, some type of, closure in this case, and that he can go on and do the work within the community that he's doing. Because one of the things I like about Pastor Tamarkus Cook is that he is very involved in the community. He's also very involved with young people, and they have a scholarship, the Talented 10th, that they give thousands of dollars back yearly to, high school kids who've graduated and going on to college. So I'm really happy about the work that he's doing within his county. And also, he's really involved into politics too. So, keep doing what you're doing, Pastor Tamarkus Cook. I'm glad they caught this man and he's off the streets. But I want to ask my audience, what would you all have done if you were in that situation? Would you have been so forgiving and so reserved and calm during the news interview like Pastor Tamarkus Cook? Or would your response during the news interview, would it have been something different? I mean, would you have said, yeah, I shot him, but I prayed for him and I prayed for myself and God gonna forgive me and I know God gonna forgive him too, but I had to defend myself. Now, what would you have done in that situation? Let your guy know. I really want to know your response. Go off in the comment section. Again, it's your guy Dawson. Take care of yourself and each other. Peace. Oh, and another thing, it is finally good to do a story on a pastor where there's no cheating allegations. And this pastor right here, look at this family. They go first lady looking good. So I just had to point that out. But let me not go too far with that, because we still got a life to live. And I don't want to be giving people their props and something come up down the road. Then, I have to take my words back and pick my face up off the ground. So, wishing them all the best in everything they do. And let me know what y'all think about this story. Peace.